Hi, it's me, your void. Welcome to my bed. Remember how I said there would be a second TBR for the Adventure Marathon? Well, this is it. We just launched the side quests on the 8th of January, and that means I have 8 more books to add to my TBR. And that is exactly what we're doing right now. So in order to get all the munsies, to get all the funny, fancy, magical items from the merchant, that was a tractor from the farmer's strike. They're all coming back now. We're done. Nice. I gotta read 8 more books. And honestly, looking at this TBR, I am more scared and less scared at the same time than I am with my main TBR. Mostly because these are not musts. This is literally just to earn coinage to buy magic items, and I know exactly what magic items I want, and that I will earn the money no matter what with just my main TBR. So everything I read now for this TBR is just extra coinage for what may come in the future. And no, just because I'm a co-host, I don't know what magic items we're coming up with for the next round, because we made the ones for this round, and that's it, okay? We didn't brainstorm further than that. So I will go through all the prompts. I have a pick for all of them, but I do not promise that any of these will be read. I try, though. I will focus on my main TBR before I hit this one. Maybe I use some of these to cleanse between books, if necessary. But these are not the main focus, so everything I say now, take it with a grain of salt. In German, we would say alle Angaben ohne Gewähr. I have no idea how to translate that, so sucks to suck. Use Google Translate and try to figure out what I just said. I'm not going to do these in order. I have a list on this side and my books right here, and I will just list them off as they come, and that's it, and you just have to live with it. It's not my problem. So for the Crone's Nest, I need to read something that features evil witches, so I chose to read The New Witch by V. Schwab. I love V. Schwab, and this one is blaming a witch on disappearing children. Don't know if there is actually a witch in this, but I count it. So, we take it, right? Then we have Missing, Presumed Alive, which dictates to read a book with a disappearance. I might be stretching this, but I don't care. I'm gonna read Fire Force Volume 1. I have seen the anime, so I know that this idiot is looking for his little brother who disappeared a couple of years ago, and that is his sole motivation for becoming a firefighter and fight demons with his burning feet. Also, this is from the same people who made Soul Eater, and I am a whore for Soul Eater, so yes. Now, Kirsty will hate me for this, but the Monster Slayer prompt says to read something over 600 pages, and for every page you read, you get 1 gold. So ideally, you want to go with the biggest book on your shelf, right? To get the most coinage. My problem is that I am an overachieving bitch, so I'm going for the biggest books on my TBR. But they are both books that I'm not too eager to get to, which is why they have been on my shelf for a while. So I give 2 options, and I have not yet decided which one I will take. Meaning, once I decide, it doesn't eat up a swap. I planned this out. So my first option is The Second Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. And if you know anything about me, I hate Brandon Sanderson with a passion. I will not go into detail why I hate the man with a passion, just know that I do. So reading 927 pages of Mistborn is not very high up on my priority list. The other one is the second book in the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind, which is very badly written, very stereotypical fantasy, but as Terry Goodkind put it, he doesn't write fantasy books, no! He writes books about people. I seriously enjoyed seeing the man's opinions on things because they are so incredibly wrong, and I don't know how he can write something like this and be of the opinion that he's not writing fantasy. Like, the first book had everything. We have magic, we have magical swords, we have dragons, we have child sacrifice, and weird BDSM torture magic? More attractors. Yeah, weird BDSM torture magic, but it's not as great as the one in Sex Wizards. The evil torture kink BDSM magic in Terry Goodkind's books is literally just torture porn, and it's written in a way that makes me think things about the man that I don't want to think about. I'm glad he's dead. And I read the first book not knowing anything about Terry Goodkind as a person. But I watched, I don't know how old I was, when I 12, 13, 14. There was a show made based on these books, and I know that I loved it. And I was so mad that I never finished season 2. And then I figured out, oh my god, this shit is based on books when they re-released the books in these fancy ass versions. So I got the first book and I read and I was like, oh my god, this is so bad, it is hilarious. It's like Sharknado. Like, it's so bad that it's funny. And the man himself is also such an idiot. It's just fun to make fun of him. And I know you're not supposed to make fun of the dead, but oh my god. Just Google Terry Goodkind. I promise you will cringe and laugh at the same time. This one is almost 1,400 pages long. You see how floppy it is? You know why it's so floppy? Because the pages are literally the same paper that you would find in a Bible. Like, super thin. 1,400 of those. That's a buttload of money for this challenge. So, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to read this or this. I know I will hate myself for either one of those. Not just because of length, but also because of the very, very, very mediocre meh writing in these. So, yeah. At least I'm going to have fun hating it. Then we have the prompt for Nocturnal Terrors, which prompts me to read a book at night. Completely at night. We do have to choose a book for that. We are not allowed to, like, just take one of those bitches and then just read them at night. No. You are not allowed to double up on these. You have to pick a book and read it in one sitting. So naturally, I take another manga, because you can read these bitches in 1 hour, so I'm just gonna sit down, read a manga, and then go to bed. And for that, I'm going to read Fire Force Volume 2! Because it's a manga, it's action, it's quick to read, and yeah, manga. I can read this in like a heartbeat. I have no idea why I just did that. That wasn't me breathing. Then my favorite prompt of the bunch, and yes, I came up with that, and it was literally the first side quest prompt bounty prompt I came up with, which is Tangling with Terrors! Meaning you have to read some monster smut. For that, I will finally read Little Piece of Sass by Clio Evans, which I tried for multiple months in a row now and failed miserably at. It's just 120 pages. How can I not read this bitch? It's less than 120 pages, if I remember correctly. I don't know. So yeah, I will tackle Little Piece of Sass, which is a monster romance. This one a little toned down with a werecat and a werewolf, and they are like, something's missing, so they go to the lovely, lovely barista who pairs up humans and monsters in order to make the world a little less mean. And they find a human for their little pack, and apparently she's pretty sassy when it comes to it. So, monster smut for 169 gold. That was also my idea. Then we have an important delivery to do because the mayor of generic medieval town he doesn't like to do shit himself, and apparently he ran out of people to do the shit for him. So we are having to do it, and we will deliver a message to some random noble person. And in order to do that, we have to read something with a travel element, and for that I chose Blood in the Water by insert author name here. I have no idea if there's a travel element in there, but it's a pirate romance thing. So I presume we are going to be on a ship and we are going to do things. As far as I'm aware, there's a treasure hunter in there, like some treasure hunting going on in order to assemble all the pieces of an artifact to exercise a tattoo. I don't know. I forgot the synopsis. And now we come to the part where we do some math. So with all of these prompts and with all of my main things on my TBR, I earn gold. And I need 350 of these gold pieces to buy the Staff of the Wild, which would allow me to switch out any prompt for anything else. Like, the book does not need to match the prompt, so I can read whatever the fuck I want and still check a prompt. So I'm going to use the Staff of the Wild on the prompt to read a political storyline. Remember the message we delivered? Yeah, the noble person is of the firm opinion that something very shady is going on in the government, so they want to figure shit out. For that, we need to read something with a political storyline or with politicians in it. But I'm going to use my Staff of the Wild and be like, nah, fuck it. You can do that alone. I'm going to read one more issue of Fire Force for this. I mean, technically, you could say there's a political storyline in this. I don't know if it's in the third one yet, but technically, the different firehouses going up against each other is somewhat politically motivated. So technically, this would count for a political storyline if we stretch it, and I know that I'm stretching it. Hold for tractor. I know that I'm stretching, and I might not be able to do yoga, but I'm a hypermobile bitch, so I will stretch all the way I want, okay? Just to be safe and sure with things, I'm going to switch out the... I do have a book for this prompt. Silver and the Nightfall. Vampire Politics. But I'm just going to spend 350 gold on the Staff of the Wild to exchange that, because that's 503 pages, and I do not have room for 503 pages in a different language. So I'm going to switch that for a manga in my native language. Boom. Done. Good old German efficiency. And the last reading prompt is presumably the easiest one, that tasks you with reading something that is no bigger than 150 pages, because pixies are small and you have to fight some pixies. So under 150 pages, I have a short little gay werewolf novella for this one, which is called Thatcher's Mate by author. Cute little 80 pages long, and that's all I know about this. I know it's gay, I know it has werewolves in it, and I know it's just 80 pages long. So I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna earn money with that. Yay! So you see, the TBR is not that big. Like, even with one of those on it, oh my god, they are so heavy. Let's take the biggest one, like, just for examples. That is not a big TBR. Sir, can you behave? That is not a big TBR. Not necessarily. So, yeah, I'm going to have fun with this. And I hope I can fit this on my normal TBR. So yeah. Bye. Everyone was bitching about the fact that they will clump up the streets. Meanwhile, me having trouble filming a fucking video because of them.